Hello everyone, welcome back to Oni-chan. Today, we will watch the anime One Punch Man. This series has probably become too famous and familiar to many of you. In a world where many monsters exist, they constantly threaten human life. To protect humanity, there have been heroes appear and fight against those monsters. In a city right now, some very dangerous monster has appeared. His name is Vaccine Man. He continuously destroys the city and has taken down many heroes. While he was about to capture a young girl, suddenly, the hero Saitama appeared and rescued her. With an expression devoid of emotion, he looked down on Vaccine Man with disdain. He made Vaccine Man furious, ready to beat him, but it ended with just one punch, which left Saitama frustrated and screaming. Why is it just one punch? 3 years ago, Saitama was just an unemployed young man, with no purpose in life. After failing a job interview, he encountered a crab-like creature in his underwear, attacking a young boy. He stepped in to rescue the boy, but Crablante kept attacking. In the end, Saitama managed to defeat the crab in his underwear. This incident awakened his determination to become a hero. So, he embarked on a rigorous training regimen to gain superhuman strength, to the point where not a single strand of hair remained on his head. When he was shopping at the supermarket, suddenly, the city was once again under attack by a giant, together with his older brother, a scientist, because he wanted to be king of the world. So, he immediately created a potion that could transform his little brother into a giant, and started destroying the city, making everyone terrified. Suddenly, Saitama appeared, which surprised him, and he immediately ordered his younger brother to attack Saitama. But the giant turned out to be a fool, so he accidentally attacked his own brother. This made him furious, and he kept attacking Saitama, thinking that he had defeated him. Unexpectedly, Saitama gave him one punch, to help him reunite with his older brother. Although Saitama has become very strong now, but he felt sad because he couldn't find the joy in fighting anymore. In the morning, when Saitama had just woken up, suddenly, he was attacked again, which took him by surprise. They said, "We are the people beneath the earth, and we will take over this world." When he attacked Saitama, he was swiftly defeated. So, the whole bunch kept coming at him relentlessly, thinking they had taken him down. But to their surprise, Saitama kept getting back up, and continuously defeat each one of them. Suddenly, at this moment, Saitama felt very happy, because he had once again found the joy of battle within himself. When the big boss appeared, the alarm clock rang again, making Saitama realize, it turns out it's just a dream. At that moment, at a nearby farm, there was a robot named Genos hunting down a monster. At this time, on the TV, there was news about a mosquito epidemic wreaking havoc in City Z. While Saitama was feeling very annoyed, because he had folded his opponent, inside the city at that time, the mosquito swarm was also feeding on blood everywhere, and the mosquito horde was being controlled by Mosquito Girl, a demon-level monster. Suddenly, Genos appeared and attacked her, burning up the entire mosquito swarm. Both of them fought at an incredible speed, but she realized that Genos was a formidable opponent, so, she summoned all the mosquitoes in the city. Genos realized that she wanted to enhance her own power. When Genos was about to hinder her, Saitama rushed over with a mosquito repellent spray, leaving Genos puzzled about who this crazy person was. Unexpectedly, Mosquito Girl quickly commanded the swarm of mosquitoes to attack both of them. However, Genos swiftly incinerated the entire swarm of mosquitoes. At this point, Genos was very confident in his attack, believing that Mosquito Girl wouldn't survive. Unexpectedly, both Saitama and Mosquito Girl were still there. She immediately launched a rapid series of attacks against Genos. He thought he was defeated, so Genos activated self-destruct. Suddenly, Saitama delivered a powerful slap, sending her flying into the wall, taking Genos by surprise. The next day, he visited Saitama's house to become his disciple. Even though Saitama didn't want to hear him speak, but Genos still shared his story with Saitama. 4 years ago, Genos' city was attacked by a mad cyborg. Fortunately, he was saved by Dr. Kuseno and transformed his body into a cyborg, so that he could become a true hero, until he witnessed Saitama's incredible power, and wanted to become Saitama's disciple to become strong like him. On the other side, the scientist had created Mosquito Girl. He knew about Saitama's strength, so he sent his subordinate to capture him. While Saitama was captured by a mole mouse and a lion man, Genos was also being hindered by a cyborg. The lion man saw that Saitama wasn't paying attention to him, which angered him, so he started cutting Saitama's hair continuously, but he was brought to an end by Saitama with a single punch. The mole mouse realized he had no chance and tried to escape, but Saitama quickly caught him. On Genos' side, he was pressuring the Gorilla Man for information, but the Gorilla Man was confident that a powerful Lion Man had his back. Saitama then said, "I've taken care of him." So, the Gorilla Man promptly spilled the beans, disclosing Dr. Genos' whereabouts to them. On Dr. Genos' side and his clones at this moment, they discovered that the strongest subordinates they had dispatched had all been defeated, causing them started to be worried. They were concerned that their lab developing genetic enhancements would be destroyed. So, Dr. Genus decided to release his most dangerous monster, causing the clones to panic. While Saitama and Genos had found the House of Evolution, their headquarters, so Genos quickly blow out the building. Suddenly, both of them found a basement floor. At this point, Dr. Genus had come to meet Kabuto, the most dangerous monster he had created. Even Dr. Genus couldn't control him. Dr. Genus asked Kabuto to capture Saitama for him. Kabuto immediately ran to Saitama's location, and promptly delivered a punch to Genos. At this point, he pulled up the challenge to Saitama in a nearby room. Suddenly, Genos ran to him, and launched a continuous attack, but unexpectedly, he was too powerful, easily defeated Genos, and also gave him a new hairstyle. Now it was Saitama's turn to go solo with him. When Kabuto was about to attack Saitama, he immediately felt terrified. At this point, he realized that Saitama was incredibly strong. So, he promptly asked Saitama, "Why are you so incredibly strong? Listen up. Here's the secret to my strength. Every day, 100 push-ups, 100 jumps, and a 10-kilometer run. And not using the air conditioner on hot days. Train like this every single day for 3 years. And when you lose all your hair, you'll become strong." This revelation shocked everyone because those exercises were considered quite normal. However, Kabuto was infuriated and began to unleash the full extent of his power. He relentlessly attacked Saitama in a frenzy. But at that moment, Saitama remembered something very important. Today is the special discount day at the supermarket. So, he immediately knocked Kabuto down and ran away with Genos, leaving Dr. Genus still in a state of bewilderment. The next day, a bunch of bald-headed gangsters went on a rampage in the city, destroying the house to demand payment, only to later discover they had the wrong address. Meanwhile, Saitama was at home watching TV. When he heard that a gang of bald-headed thugs was causing havoc in the city, Saitama immediately realized that his bald head resembled theirs, and he feared being mistaken as one of them. So Saitama decided to catch these troublemakers. On the bald gang side, they continued their rampage the town, because they had just acquired a set of armor that boosted their strength, so no one could stop them, and their target was a building with a golden shit. But they didn't expect that the owner of that building had hired Sonic, a dangerous ninja who can move at the speed of sound. Seeing his subordinates being taken out one by one, leaving the leader extremely terrified, he continuously tried to set a trap for Sonic, so he couldn't hide anymore. But Sonic unexpectedly kept charging forward, and defeated him from behind. When Sonic thought the mission was accomplished, the bald guy quickly ran away. Luckily, his skull was tough, so he survived. Suddenly, the bald guy encountered Saitama. He asked, "Do you want to join our gang?" "No, I'm a hero." Then he attacked him with all his might. Surprisingly, Saitama easily blocked his attacks and blew away his armor, instantly making him frightened and run away. At this moment, Sonic reappeared, because he mistakenly thought Saitama was also with the bald gang. So he attacked him, but Saitama easily blocked him again, leaving Sonic surprised. Although Saitama tried to explain to Sonic that baldness and shaved head is different, Sonic was now very excited, and kept moving at the speed of sound around Saitama. But to his surprise, he was still captured by Saitama, and hit Sonic's only weakness. This made Sonic extremely painful, and said that he will return for revenge against Saitama. Finally, Saitama had finished dealing with the bald gang, but by night, he realized, he had been a hero for 3 years and still wasn't famous. Even though he had defeated many monsters, Genos suggested that Saitama should join the Hero Association, and if Saitama passed the entrance exam, he would agree Genos to be his disciple. So the next morning, they both went to register together. Because Saitama appeared to be quite still, everyone laughed at him, but to everyone's surprise, Saitama easily aced all the physical fitness tests, making these guys turn pale. At this point, both of them had finished the tests. Genos was confident that Saitama would be ranked very high, because Genos himself was ranked as a Class S hero. But to their shock, Saitama was only ranked as a Class C hero, just one step away from failing. At this point, Genos remembered that in the final interview, they knew Genos was the one who destroyed the House of Evolution, so they made a special exception to promote Genos to a Class S hero. At this moment, both of them are being explained the rules of becoming a hero by a Class A hero, but they found that he was talking too much, so neither of them cared. This caused him intrigued. By the evening, when both of them were heading home, Saitama had become a hero, so he agreed to take Genos as his disciple. At this point, all he hoped for was that this guy wouldn't turn out to be gay. Suddenly, the Class A hero reappeared, wanting to solo with Saitama. He felt annoyed that the bald guy dared to underestimate him. As a result, he was immediately knocked out by Saitama. The next day, Genos challenged Saitama to a fight, to test Dr. Kusino's new technology, so Genos continuously attacked Saitama. However, he still couldn't make a single hair of Saitama fall. Seeing Saitama simply dodging, Genos suggested that Saitama should fight him seriously. But when Saitama started to get serious, all Genos saw in front of him was the word, death. It was at this moment that Genos realized that Saitama's power was on a completely different level. By evening, Genos had moved all of his belongings to Saitama's house. When Saitama refused, Genos immediately took out a stack of bills, causing him to change his mind. The next morning, Genos informed Saitama that, if a Class C hero didn't have a contribution score, they would be expelled from the Hero Association. This forced him to immediately get up and go on a mission. He ran all over the city, but couldn't find any monsters to defeat. Then suddenly, Sonic reappeared and challenged Saitama. In his anger, Saitama immediately bit and broke Sonic's sword. Suddenly, the citizens started accusing Saitama as being very suspicious, because they saw this bald guy running around the city like a crazy person. He immediately got teased by the hero Tank Top Tiger. Even Sonic found it ridiculous. So, Sonic immediately knocked him out, and taking the opportunity to wreak havoc in the city. This left the citizens in a state of fear. Suddenly, Saitama realized, he is the villain. On the side of the Hero Association, they received news of a Class C hero capturing a dangerous criminal. They immediately sent 2 Class A heroes to investigate. Suddenly, both of them encountered a tiger-level seaweed monster. Very quickly, he defeated Golden Ball, and consistently attacked Spring Mustachio. However, no matter how he attacked, Spring Mustachio still couldn't harm him, so he was quickly defeated. At this moment, Saitama was returning from the supermarket, suddenly remembered that he forgot to buy some seaweed. So that night, they had seaweed for dinner. When the hero reinforcements arrived, the sea monster had disappeared, leaving them confused. This turned City Z into a terrifying city. The next day, the Hero Association discovered that a massive meteorite was approaching Earth, and they summoned Genos to their headquarters. Suddenly, he encountered Bang, also known as Silver Fang, a Class S Rank 3 hero. He was surprised because this was a dragon-level threat disaster. In 35 minutes, it will crash straight into City Z. While everyone is running for their lives, Genos is still here, so Genos immediately left to find a way to stop this disaster. When Genos was about to use Dr. Kusino's equipment to shoot it down, suddenly, an Iron Man appeared. Genos recognized him as Bofoy, the Metal Knight, a Class S Rank 7 hero. It's just his remote-controlled robot. He came here just to test his new weapon, so he didn't want to cooperate with Genos. Even though he used all his firepower, he still couldn't do anything to the meteorite, which made Genos worried. Suddenly, Bang also ran over and said, "If you're still young, don't think about failure." So he helped Genos regain his confidence. Then Genos used all his energy to shoot at the meteorite. But he still couldn't change anything, thinking that everyone would die. Suddenly, Saitama appeared. He immediately jumped up and punched straight into the meteorite, causing it to shatter into pieces. Bang was very surprised. Even though the entire city was devastated by the meteorite's strong fragments, Saitama's house remained safe in the end. The next day, Genos informed Saitama that his rank had been elevated from 17 to 16 in the S class, while Saitama's rank had moved from 342 to 5 in the C class. And he explained to Saitama, disasters are ranked as follows: Tiger, Demon, Dragon, and God. Upon realizing he had just been promoted, Saitama immediately went outside to see if he had any female fans yet, but unexpectedly, he was mocked by these 2 guys, because they thought Saitama only hanger on S-class heroes to rank up, and they blamed Saitama for destroying the city, making everyone angry and telling Saitama to quit being a hero. When they started to show off, Saitama took care of them, and said, "I don't give a damn about you guys. I became a hero just because I like it." At this time, Saitama, ignoring all the public opinion, made Genos respect his teacher even more. The next day, a group of sea monsters suddenly appeared and invaded the mainland. So, this guy immediately ran to stop them. Despite being beaten up, the guy still managed to defeat them. While he was daydreaming about his unmatched strength, he was immediately defeated by Deep Sea King. At this point, the Hero Association announced that this was a demon-level disaster, so many Class C heroes were run away, while Deep Sea King had already given a hard time to many Class A heroes. At this point, the Puri Puri prisoner and Sonic, who had just escaped from prison, then they accidentally encountered Deep Sea King, so both of them began to engage in a fist fight. Seeing that he was very powerful, Puri Puri immediately started to get serious. He stripped off all his clothes and prepared to battle him. Although he kept attacking relentlessly, he still couldn't do anything to Deep Sea King. So, he was continuously punched by him. Then he aimed for Sonic, but his speed was very fast, so he couldn't catch Sonic. Unexpectedly, due to the rain, his speed began to increase. He began to catch up to Sonic. On Genos and Saitama's side, they split up to find the monster. Suddenly, Saitama accidentally ran into Moomin Rider, a Class C hero. So, he decided to take Saitama along with him. On Sonic's side, he realized the situation was not favorable, so he immediately fled. At this point, the Sea King had found the shelter of the people, and he attacked there, causing everyone to be terrified. While Saitama was accompanying Moomin Rider, he noticed someone streaking by naked, so he decided to go ahead and check it out. But when he turned back, Moomin Rider had already left, leaving only a cell phone. Thanks to that, Saitama learned the whereabouts of Deep Sea King. At this moment, as Deep Sea King defeated all the heroes here, Genos finally appeared, and immediately launched a powerful attack at him. Thinking he had defeated him, this made everyone very happy, but he quickly returned and twisted Genos' arm. Genos continued to attack Deep Sea King, despite using all his firepower, but still couldn't defeat him. Suddenly, Deep Sea King attacked a young girl, so Genos rushed to her rescue, but he couldn't fight anymore, and he was punched out by him. When he was about to finish off Genos, Moomin Rider rushed in. At this point, even though he knew he was weak, he was determined to stop him, which made him angry. When cheered on by the people, his imaginary strength increased, and he was immediately knocked out by Deep Sea King. Unexpectedly, Saitama arrived, which made him very curious. Who's this bald guy? Seeing that Saitama could withstand one of his punches, he immediately started to get serious, but Saitama only knocked him out with one punch. While everyone was celebrating, suddenly, a dissenting guy spoke up. Saitama simply relied on other heroes, because they weakened Deep Sea King. That's why Saitama won, and criticizing all the heroes who had fought hard. This led Saitama to admit that he only hung over on others, to protect the efforts of the heroes who had been defeated. This made everyone begin to doubt Saitama. But only Genos knew the truth and admired Saitama even more. When Saitama returned home, he received a lot of trash mail from anti-fans. But unexpectedly, there was still someone who thanked Saitama. On the side of the Hero Association, they decided to promote him to Class B, but Saitama remained at the bottom rank. Because they still doubted Saitama's strength was fake. In the evening, by chance, Saitama encountered Moomin Rider again, and realized that he was the one who had sent him a thank you letter. On another front, the ancient king was planning to invade Earth, so a girl, not wearing underwear, rushed in to defeat him. When he was about to ask why she wasn't wearing underwear, unexpectedly, the girl controlled a meteorite to fall, causing his extinction. The next day, Bang invited Saitama and Genos to his martial arts dojo, to introduce both of them to his martial art style, the Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist. Seeing that both of them weren't interested, it made the young man angry, and he was promptly dealt with by Genos. When both of them thought that his dojo must have very strong disciples, Bang recounted that he once had a very powerful disciple, named Garo, but because he became too crazy, he was beaten and expelled from the dojo by Bang. Suddenly, the Hero Association staff ran in to announce the summoning of all Class S heroes back to the headquarters, so Saitama, out of boredom, decided to follow along. Upon arriving, Saitama encountered Atomic Samurai, and the girl without underwear mocked him, because she found Saitama too weak. At this point, Genos informed Saitama. This girl is Tatsumaki, the Tornado of Terror, rank 2 in Class S. But unexpectedly, Saitama don't give any attention on her. Now, all Class S heroes had gathered. While everyone looked cool, handsome, tall, and muscular, Saitama was the only Class B hero, ranked 63. At this point, the association announced to everyone, Madame Shibabawa had died, because she had predicted a coming catastrophe of god level, which would endanger the Earth. Suddenly, in the sky, a massive spaceship appeared and obliterated City A in an instant, leaving the Hero Association stunned. Everyone began to take action. Saitama went straight into the spaceship. Below, there was a monster gatekeeper. When Atomic Samurai rushed to save his disciple, he realized that this monster is immortal. Silver Fang, Metal Bat, and Puri Puri Prisoner also came to help him. The rest were concerned above. Saitama infiltrated the ship, and continuously destroyed many monsters inside. At this moment inside the control room, the creature resembling an octopus informed its leader. There was a guy causing trouble going alone and destroying nearly half of the ship alone. So, he ordered Jerryuganshoop to continue obstructing the bald guy. On the hero's side, they were still battling the gatekeeper Mazagrard. Despite their combined efforts, he could regenerate. However, when Jerryuganshoop announced that there was an intruder in the spaceship, and ordered Mazagrard to return to the ship, he was very surprised. But Mazagrard was being held back by the heroes, and they had even discovered his weakness, the green marble inside his head, so he couldn't return. Jerryuganshoop decided to use the large cannonballs to shoot down all the heroes below. Just when they thought they were about to defeat him, unexpectedly, the cannonballs were fired. Suddenly, Tatsumaki appeared. She immediately used her psychic powers to control the cannonballs and shot them back at the spaceship, making Mazagrard furious. But the team worked well together, and they continued their attack, reducing him to just one head. Unexpectedly, Bang was knocked away. He decided to quickly deal with all of them. While Saitama had already found the control room, Jerryuganshoop decided to use his psychic powers to attack Saitama. Surprisingly, he stood there completely unharmed, so he was swiftly defeated by Saitama, in a nearby room at that time. While the boss was still waiting here, Saitama had also arrived. Because he knew Saitama as the strongest being on this planet, he introduced himself as Boros, the ruler of the universe, and he told Saitama that he's been so strong that he's traveled across the universe but still hasn't found a worthy opponent. Then, a prophet told him that if he came here, he would find a satisfying challenger. So, he challenged Saitama, but he was immediately sent flying by Saitama. Unexpectedly, Saitama destroyed his power-sealing armor, so he transformed and went all out against Saitama, continuously attacking him, but unexpectedly, Boros lost one arm. Outside, Tatsumaki continued her assault on the spaceship, making the extraterrestrial beings terrified. At this point, Genos knew Saitama was inside the spaceship, so he was relieved. Suddenly, Rank 9 Machine Knight arrived and informed Genos that the Metal Knight was the one who had destroyed his hometown. On the other side, Melzergard was feeling quite confident. However, Bang was still alive, and they continued to cooperate, and finally, they defeated Melzergard, so they emerged victorious. At this moment, Saitama was engaged in a fierce battle with Boros, even fighting on top of the spaceship. But he couldn't even make a single hair fall from Saitama. However, Boro remained confident in his own strength and regenerative abilities. He then unleashed his true power, launching a relentless assault on Saitama, even sending him flying to the moon. When he thought he had won, surprisingly, Saitama immediately returned. Boros was surprised, so he continued dash forward. Saitama retaliated this time, even surviving Saitama's consecutive normal punches, which made him very excited. Boro then used Goku's Kamehameha attack against Saitama. So, Saitama used his serious punch as a counterattack against him. In the end, Boro was defeated. However, he realized that Saitama had not used his full power yet. The battle had been entirely one-sided from the beginning. As a result, the spaceship began to fall, terrifying both the heroes and monsters. Suddenly, the Sweet Mask and the Metal Knight unit arrived at the scene. While Metal Knight collects alien technology, it greatly annoys Genos, and Sweet Mask mocks the Class S heroes for letting the entire city be destroyed, so he proceeds to eliminate all the alien monsters to prove his justice. Suddenly, Saitama also steps out, surprising Tatsumaki, but she is ignored again, which infuriates her. She then takes care of Genos, with Bang intervening to stop her, so Tatsumaki eventually leaves. At this point, while Saitama was buying hair growth medicine with Genos, they accidentally bumped into King, a Class S Rank 7 hero, famously known as the strongest man on Earth. He is dealing with a troublesome robot. At this point, the robot has challenged King to a duel, making everyone hear his heartbeat, thinking King had entered battle mode, but unexpected, King said he needed to use the restroom, so the robot has to wait for King to return. While King is scared in the restroom, as he was just a gaming addict, he doesn't know anything about fighting. King had only coincidentally appeared in times when Saitama defeated monsters, so the Hero Association assumed that King had defeated them and quickly promoted him to the top ranks, so he quickly runs home. Meanwhile, Genos is battling the robot. At this moment, King had just started up his newly purchased video game. Suddenly, Saitama appeared, saying he wanted to play a game with King, immediately surprising him, as he realized Saitama was just a Class B hero and wasn't afraid of him. At this point, Saitama noticed that King was skilled at gaming, and thought that King might be strong like him, so he was bored of fighting. Suddenly, a giant bird came flying at them, but Saitama easily stopped it. While King was blaming his bad luck for always attracting monsters, he admitted to Saitama that he was incredibly weak. So, Saitama defeated the giant bird, and King realized that Saitama was the one who had always been there to save him. Meanwhile, Genos thought he had defeated the robot. Surprisingly, he realized that the small robot inside was the mastermind. In the end, Genos still take him down. At this point, King confessed to Saitama that he had been lying and taking credit for his achievements, just because of the Hero Association's salary, but unexpected, Saitama wasn't angry at all. He even said he'd come over for more gaming next time. As for Genos, he brought the robot back to Dr. Kuseno to upgrade him and make him stronger. Meanwhile, at the Hero Association, with the increasing number of monsters appearing, and not enough heroes to combat them, they resorted to gathering dangerous criminals to fight the monster horde. Suddenly, Garo stepped forward, claiming to be on the side of the monsters, and challenged everyone present. So, the 3 Class A heroes stepped up. However, Garo easily defeated all 3 Class A heroes and the criminals present, leaving this guy in shock. While Saitama had just obtained King's gaming console, he started training in gaming. Suddenly, Genos encountered Sonic, knowing that Sonic intended to bother his master, so Genos decided to take on Sonic alone. As for Saitama, he encountered Fubuki, a Class B Rank 1 hero. She forced Saitama to work for her. When he declined, these 2 guys attacked him, so Saitama dealt with them effortlessly. This made Fubuki furious, and she unleashed her psychic powers on Saitama. However, no matter how much she attacked, she couldn't make a single hair fall off Saitama. Suddenly, Genos and Sonic created an explosion, So Saitama protected Fubuki. Fubuki in this moment. Upon learning that Genos was Saitama's disciple, she was surprised. Genos and Sonic continued their fight. Genos moved at a very fast speed and cut Sonic's hair. Sonic then used a new technique to attack Genos. When Genos was about to destroy everything, Saitama stopped him, and stepped to deal with Sonic. As Sonic created many afterimages to attack Saitama, Saitama effortlessly created a series of afterimages, shocking Sonic and causing him to fall to the ground. Fubuki sensed Saitama's immense strength, so she told both of them about her, because she wanted to surpass her older sister Tatsumaki. But Fubuki was too weak to compete for the top spot in Class A against Sweet Mask, so she formed her own group to climb the ranks. When Fubuki thought Saitama couldn't possibly beat King, but unexpected King came to Saitama's house to take his game console back. That was shocked her. She couldn't believe that a Class B hero would be friends with a Class S hero. Meanwhile, Garo this moment, he was going around taking down any hero he encountered. On Bang's side, he expelled Shiranko from the dojo, because he was too weak, so Shiranko sought out Saitama and Genos, explaining that his master had been acting strangely. He also noticed that Saitama's home was becoming more crowded. Genos informed Shiranko that Bang had taken on a mission to capture Garo, his former disciple, because he didn't want Shiranko to get involved. Bang decided to dismiss him. Saitama, feeling down after being nicknamed Caped Baldy by the Hero Association. When Shiranko left, he unexpectedly encountered Garo. He was battling Tanktop Master, Class S rank 16. Although Tanktop Master gave his all to take down Garo, he realized that Garo was not human, so he decided to end him. But Garo retaliated with his Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist technique, shattering Tanktop Master's nose, defeating him, and simultaneously defeated Moomin Rider and other heroes, which frightened Shiranko. But he still go forward. Bang is currently with his younger brother, whose name is Bomb. They have decided to search for Garo, but in the morning, they discovered that Shiranko was severely injured. At this point, Saitama brought a bunch of bananas to the hospital to cheer up Moomin Rider. Here, he accidentally met Tanktop Master and learned that Garo is very dangerous. Not only is he very strong, but he also knows martial arts. So, Saitama went to visit Shiranko to learn more about martial arts. Shiranko then gave Saitama a ticket to participate in the martial arts tournament in his place. When Saitama learned that the winner would receive 3 million yen, he immediately decided to disguise himself as Shiranko and compete. Meanwhile, Garo, he is talking with a young boy who is a hardcore fan of heroes. To investigate further information about the heroes, Garo came to Golden Ball. Despite continuous attacks, Garo easily blocked them all. Suddenly, Spring Mustache also appeared and attacked Garo. But in the end, both of them ended up in the hospital. At this point, when Garo was looking for a different target, he unexpectedly encountered Saitama. Thinking that the bald guy was there to arrest him, he quickly launched an attack on Saitama. However, he was knocked out by Saitama with a single blow. It turns out Saitama thought this guy wanted to buy a wig from him. While unconscious, Garo dreamed about his childhood, when he was a hardcore fan of monsters, and couldn't understand why heroes always won. So, Garo decided to become the strongest monster. But when Garo regained his composure, he found himself lying amidst a pile of garbage. At this moment, Metal Bat was on a mission to protect these father and son, who were high-ranking advisors to the Hero Association. Suddenly, a horde of centipede monsters appeared and captured the kid. As Metal Bat took down the creatures, a larger centipede appeared, relentlessly attacked him. Suddenly, Metal Bat was hit by a paralyzing venom, causing him being attacked. To snap out of it, he resorted to hitting himself on the head. In his enraged state, Metal Bat defeated the centipede horde. But unexpectedly, the Elder Centipede has appeared. He was considered a dragon-level threat by the Hero Association. The Elder Centipede attacked Metal Bat. However, Metal Bat still charged back, attacking the Elder Centipede. Surprisingly, Metal Bat was knocked over to Garo's location. When Metal Bat was about to continue standing, he was suddenly attacked by Garo. At that moment, Metal Bat realized that he was the hero hunter. Meanwhile, Saitama was having a small conversation with Tempo, the former disciple of Bang. He thought Saitama was Shiranko, so he informed him, because last year, Garo had disguised himself as another to win the martial arts tournament championship. So this time, the martial arts tournament strictly prohibits disguises, or else they would be deprived of the right to compete and fined. This made Saitama break into a cold sweat. And this guy also hates Garo because he once beat him up and sent him to the hospital. On the side of the Hero Association, they were trying to summon Class S heroes to stop Elder Centipede. Suddenly, they discovered that many demon-level monsters had simultaneously appeared. Meanwhile, Garo was beating Metal Bat by his martial arts skills. However, Garo realized that the angrier Metal Bat became, the stronger he grew. Suddenly, Metal Bat's little sister appeared, stepping in to stop the fight between the two. Garo had no choice but to leave. Unexpectedly, as soon as Garo departed, Metal Bat collapsed. When the monsters were about to attack him, Garo returned to protect Metal Bat, because he hated who's attacked others from behind. Suddenly, the monsters invited Garo to join their monster association, but Garo declined their offer, so the monsters left. At this point, they had taken a valuable hostage of the Hero Association. So, Elder Centipede had retreated, while Bang and Bomb were still searching for Garo, and taking down numerous monsters within the city. On Saitama's side, the martial arts tournament was about to begin, so he began to meet his opponents, who were all martial artists and powerful fighters. But there are two individuals who were considered top contenders for the championship this time, that is Bikuzen and Suiryu. Suddenly, a young man taunted Saitama, and he was immediately criticized by Saitama for being weak, making him furious. However, when the young man stepped into the arena, Saitama lightly flicked him, causing the young man to faint. This made the audience conclude that the young man was indeed weak. Suiryu, on the other hand, began to notice Saitama. When Suiryu entered the arena, he effortlessly defeated a Class A hero with a single move. Leaving the arena in awe, Genos know that Saitama only come here because he curious about martial art, so he think that Suiryu can satisfy his master. Suddenly, Genos received news. The Monster Association was attacking the city, so he left. At this moment, the entire city was under siege by many demon-level monsters, so Fubuki also appeared to stop them. Meanwhile, Genos continued to defeat many monsters quickly, to return and continue watch Saitama's fight. At the same time, Saitama faced Bikuzen, who had won the martial arts tournament twice, when he was thinking about how to torment Saitama, but he was instantly punched, causing the entire arena to freeze in shock. On the other hand, Genos was in a battle with a cockroach-like monster, but in the end, he was defeated by Genos. Suddenly, another powerful monster appeared and defeated Genos. On Fubuki's side this time, she is being attacked by Monster Princess and has taken control of Fubuki's subordinates. Monster Princess continuously attacked her back, but when she mentioned Tatsumaki, it made Fubuki angry and she fought back. Suddenly, Tatsumaki arrived, causing her to be terrified and flee. Tatsumaki then instructed Fubuki to return home. While Saitama was using the toilet, Suiryu consecutively defeated several Class A heroes. The city was still under attack by a horde of monsters. On the Monster Association side, Lord Orochi, they was planning to counter the Hero Association. So many Class S heroes appeared to stop the monsters. Pig God and the Child Emperor battled a serpent monster, while Flash and the Class A heroes were finishing off a monster. Tatsumaki easily crushed it into a meatball, scolded the lazy ones for not doing their job. Meanwhile, Atomic Samurai was in a meeting with the Council of Swordmasters. Suddenly, one of them took out a monster cell. He claimed that the monster cells could make them stronger and turn them into monsters. This left the group thinking that he was out of his mind, when he transformed into a monster and was about to deal with them. Atomic Samurai swiftly finished him off. Saitama, who had just finished in the bathroom, continued to defeat his opponent with a single punch, and entered the final round to fight Suiryu. Suiryu kept mocking Saitama. He knew Saitama came there to learn martial arts, but in reality, Saitama's true purpose was for the money. Suiryu stated that he would help Saitama learn martial arts, but in return, Saitama had to make him happy, so Suiryu continuously attacked Saitama, while Saitama tried to hold onto his wig to prevent it from falling off. When Suiryu mocked the heroes, saying they were just a facade because they were too weak, it stirred Saitama's professional ethics. He doesn't bother keeping his wig anymore, and gets serious with Suiryu. So Saitama was immediately spotted and disqualified from the match. However, Suiryu continued to attack Saitama, realizing that Saitama was indeed very strong, but no matter how much he attacked, he couldn't even make one strand of Saitama's hair fall off. Suddenly, Saitama realized, martial arts were all about looking cool with style. It made Suiryu angry, so he rushed over. But Saitama gently shook his buttocks and sent him flying into the stands. When he was discovered, Saitama immediately ran away, while Suiryu was still shocked about his defeat. At this moment, as Suiryu was receiving his prize, a very powerful monster named Guketsu suddenly appeared, threatening to turn everyone into monsters. Anyone who resisted would be devoured. It was then that everyone realized that Guketsu had once been the champion of tournament. However, he wanted to become even stronger, so he decided to transform into a monster. At this point, he threw the monster cells in front of the fighters, and if anyone refused to consume them, he would kill them. As a result, many young people ended up consuming the cells and transforming into monsters. As for Suiryu, he's inviting this girl out on a date. While Suiryu was asking this girl out for a date, if after he defeats all of them, so Suiryu started to fight with them, even though they are very strong, but they've been defeated quickly. Recognizing Suiryu's strength, Guketsu proposed that he join the Monster Association. Suiryu declined the offer and continued to attack Guketsu. Unexpected, he received a powerful blow from Guketsu. At that moment, Suiryu realized that he was too strong, When he was on the verge of being captured to become food for Guketsu's birds, Suiryu discovered Bikuzan was still around. He sought him help, but Bikuzan decided to turn monster. When Bikuzan thought he had gained enough power, his transform has been failed. Suddenly, the heroes appeared to rescue Suiryu, which surprised him. So, all three of them teamed up to defeat the birds. At this point, Suiryu realized they couldn't stay here any longer. Max and Snek decided to stay and hold off Guketsu, leaving Suiryu helpless as he ran away. Unexpectedly, Bikuzan had successfully evolved and captured Suiryu. On the other side, Garo was soloing against the Watchdog Man, but was getting beaten up badly. At this moment, Guketsu recognized that Bikuzan was also a dragon-level threat like himself, but he saw Bikuzan delusional himself about his own strength. So, Guketsu made him see that they were not on the same level. When Guketsu left, he continued to torture Suiryu, making Suiryu very scared. He immediately despaired, hoping for a hero to come to his rescue. When he was about to finish off Suiryu, Saitama appeared, leaving Suiryu astonished. Bikuzan quickly recognized Saitama as the one who had defeated him earlier. He launched a series of attacks on him, while Saitama still hadn't recognized who this guy was. However, Saitama swiftly retaliated with a single punch, leaving Suiryu astonished. At that moment, Suiryu realized that Saitama was a hero, so he proceeded to explain everything to Saitama, including the existence of a dangerous monster named Guketsu. Genos had also been defeated by Guketsu in a single strike, so he intended to return and gather all the S-class heroes, including Saitama, to defeat Guketsu. At this moment, Saitama became aware that there was a very powerful monster outside. He decided to go and take down that monster. So, Suiryu tried to stop Saitama, because he didn't want his benefactor to face danger. However, Saitama remained determined to go. When it seemed like Saitama about to end, Guketsu was swiftly defeated. This caught Suiryu by extreme surprise. When he learned that Saitama had defeated Guketsu with just one punch, Suiryu asked, "Can I become your disciple?" "No thank." As Saitama was wandering around the city, he encountered King. So King invited Saitama to his house to play games, and he will only use 2 fingers to play games with Saitama. Saitama quickly accepted him. Meanwhile, Garo had just been through a tough battle with the Watchdog Man, and had learned a new move. He unintentionally ran into King, and immediately attacked him, but Saitama swiftly kicked Garo into a wall. Meanwhile, Sonic this time, he had encountered 2 ninja comrades from his village. They asked Sonic to join the Monster Association with them, and offered him Monster Cell. At this point, Sonic wanted to gain the strength to defeat Saitama, so he decided to consume the cells. However, as he couldn't consume them raw, he tried cooking them. This resulted in him suffering from diarrhea for 3 days, while Saitama was continuously being defeated by King in the game, making Saitama irritated. On the Hero Association side, they are worried because the consultant's son has been captured. The Monster Association sends a declaration of war to the Hero Association, giving them a 3-day ultimatum. On the Monster Association side, they have gathered many new monsters. Preparation for the impending battle. Genos has been upgraded by Dr. Kuseno, and he is eager to test his new powers. On the other hand, Saitama has noticed that there are a lot of monsters appearing today. Suddenly, a group of children discovers that Garo has been injured in their hideout, so the whole group decides to send a kid to check on him. The Class A heroes also discover Garo location. While Garo is showing the kid how to avoid being bullied, he noticed that he was being surrounded, so he borrowed the kid's hero magazine to investigate the information. Garo stepped out alone to fight with them. The heroes continued to attack Garo relentlessly. Even though he was injured, Garo was agile and managed to evade the heroes' attacks. However, as they kept pressuring him, Garo began to counterattack, and took down one hero after another. Death Gatling continuously fired his bullets at him, causing him to charge at a young man wearing glasses, so Death Gatling cannot shoot him anymore. It turns out that the young man was a member of Fubuki's group, but he was considered weak, and no one respected him. However, Saitama had saved him at that point, which inspired him to train rigorously to become as strong as Saitama. But in reality, he still got knocked out by Garo. Even Stinger was easily defeated by Garo. When Death Gatling was about to attack Garo, he mentioned that there was a child behind him, but Death Gatling didn't believe him and still attacked Garo. So, Garo used his hand to catch all the bullets, to protect the kid. In the end, Death Gatling was also defeated by Garo. However, as the kid saw Garo had taken down all the heroes, he became scared and ran away. Garo was exhausted by this time. Unexpectedly, Genos appeared with a very cool style. Garo had to continue the fight once more. Genos proved to be extremely powerful, forcing Garo to take the battle seriously. On Saitama's side, he continues to lose to King in the game, which left him frustrated. Saitama realized that he had been playing the game for too long. He began to worry about his disciple. Saitama decided it was time to find Genos. At this point, Garo had figured out the watchdog's movement pattern and surprise attack on Genos. Genos managed to catch him. When Genos was determined to defeat Garo, Garo then kicked and broke the tree trunk to escape. At this point, Garo smeared his own blood on his head to make himself resemble a monster. Suddenly, a group of monsters appeared, intending to take Garo away, but Genos immediately intervened. When Genos was about to finish off Garo, Bang appeared to settle the matter with his disciple. In his childhood, Garo had a deep fondness for monsters, which often led to him being bullied by his friends, and made him play the role of a monster in their hero games. This prompted Garo to seek out Bang's dojo. At this point, both of them began to battle each other, but Bang completely dominated Garo, and continuously delivered blows to him. When Garo attempted to use the heroes as a shield, he was knocked away by Bomb. Subsequently, both of them teamed up to attack Garo together. Garo realized that facing all three of them was impossible, but he refused to give up. He unleashed a powerful strike into the ground to prevent the two old men. Suddenly, a monstrous bird-like creature appeared and saved Garo. When Genos was about to attack him, Elder Centipede also appeared to block Genos, and destroyed everything around, so all three of them joined forces to rescue the defeated heroes. The bird then informed Garo that only 4 heroes could contend with the Elder Centipede, and they were Tatsumaki, Metal Knight, King and Blast, the one who had come close to defeating the Elder Centipede before. At this point, all 3 of them collaborated to stop the Elder Centipede. Despite Bang and Bomb using their most powerful techniques, unexpectedly, the Elder Centipede has shed its skin, becoming even stronger than before. Bang and Bomb realized they were no match for him, but Genos refused to give up and kept on attacking. Unexpectedly, the Elder Centipede was caught him and cut in half. At this point, Genos immediately reassembled his body and unleashed all of his firepower, diving into Elder Centipede body to burn him from within. However, he also ran out of energy. Genos thought he had defeated the Elder Centipede. Unexpectedly, the Elder Centipede still remained unharmed, so Genos realized that he was too weak. While Bang was about to engage in a fierce battle with him, suddenly, King called the Elder Centipede back towards him. The young man was terrified. The Elder Centipede rushed forward to attack King. That's when Saitama appeared and delivered a punch, made him felt very comfortable, for release the stress for losing the game with King. Suddenly, when Genos asked Saitama what he lacked, Saitama simply answered with strength. So, Genos has helped him understand something. As for Garo, he was still being taken back to the Monster Association. At this moment, the Hero Association was holding a meeting about the battle with the Monster Association. Elder Centipede had been defeated by a single overwhelming blow, and they believed that King was the one who did it. They no longer considered Garo to be human. Therefore, the Hero Association decided to raise Garo's threat level to Dragon. They even wanted to call Blast back, because he was the strongest hero in the Hero Association. However, no one could give orders to Blast, because he was completely free. Still, they believed that when humanity needed help, Blast would appear. Meanwhile, Tatsumaki was getting irritated, because the Hero Association was taking too long to discuss their plans. She believed she could easily defeat the Monster Association on her own. Seikinger tried to stop Tatsumaki, because he was the commander of this operation. He said that Drive Knight had gone to investigate alone, but they had lost contact with him. So, Seikinger believed he had already been eliminated. The Monster Association had given the Hero Association a 3-day deadline. Seikinger decided to gather all the heroes together. At the same time, Atomic Samurai was also in a hurry, because he wanted to go to the Monster Association's base to rescue the hostages. Suddenly, they ran into Sweet Mask. He immediately mocked Atomic Samurai's disciples for being too weak, saying they could only become food for the monsters. This made Atomic Samurai uncomfortable. Sweet Mask said he stayed in A class only to observe the situation, and that he could move up to S class at any time. He even claimed that he was stronger than Atomic Samurai. Meanwhile, Child Emperor was still searching for the Monster Association's base. Suddenly, he blamed Metal Knight, because Metal Knight knew the location of the Monster Association. But, Metal Knight still refused to reveal it, because anyone who went there would be in danger. It turned out that Metal Knight had fought the Monster King, Orochi. He was defeated by a single attack. So, Metal Knight warned that Orochi was extremely powerful. This left Child Emperor feeling helpless. At this moment, a senior member of the Hero Association appeared. He had gathered a team of heroes to rescue his son. Meanwhile, Fubuki went to Saitama's house. Suddenly, she ran into Bomb. This shocked her, because the S-class heroes were gathered at Saitama's place playing video games. She did not understand why they were there. Fubuki immediately informed them that the Monster Association was extremely dangerous. She even said that her group had already been wiped out. This was not the time to be playing games. However, Saitama remained completely calm. Genos said that they had also just faced a very powerful enemy. But Fubuki noticed Saitama's indifferent expression. This made her angry, because the current situation was extremely tense. They needed to quickly discuss a strategy. But Fubuki realized that everyone was injured. King was busy with personal matters. Only she and Saitama were still able to fight. Fubuki told Saitama that this time their enemy was the Monster Association. It was very rare for monsters to gather on such a large scale. So, she believed a very powerful boss was commanding them. Bang believed that Garo had also joined the Monster Association. When Saitama learned that Garo was a hero hunter, it made Saitama annoyed, because Garo had never come to hunt him. So, Saitama decided to go find Garo and defeat him, while Fubuki was completely ignored. At this moment, Garo woke up. The Monster Association had left him a letter. They told Garo to stay in the waiting room. But Garo was hungry, so he needed to eat something to regain his strength. When Garo stepped outside, he saw the monsters had captured a group of heroes. And the one who captured them was a new member of the Monster Association named G5. He was disaster-level demon. Meanwhile, the Monster Princess wanted to turn the heroes into her pets. This terrified them. Suddenly, Garo stepped forward. The monsters recognized him as the hero hunter. Gyoro spoke to Garo. He wanted Garo to join the Monster Association, and promised that Garo would become one of its executives. However, Orochi wanted Garo to prove that he was truly a monster, by killing one hero within a single day. And they told Garo that Bang's group had defeated Elder Centipede. This shocked him. After Garo left, Gyoro sent 2 demon-level members to follow him. At this moment, Sonic was furious with the Monster Association, because after eating their monster cells, he got severe diarrhea. But Sonic still wanted to continue growing stronger, so that he could defeat Saitama. At this moment, a group of people was holding a protest. They were supporting the Monster Association, and they were willing to sacrifice humans to them. When someone spoke out against it, this group immediately tried to capture him as a sacrifice. But Garo stepped in and stopped them. He scolded them, calling them idiots, because even if they sacrificed humans to monsters, the monsters would never spare them. Garo realized that the world had fallen into complete chaos. He saw a drunk man bullying an old man. Garo immediately stopped him, because the man was blocking the entrance to the restaurant Garo wanted to enter. At this point, Garo began devouring food non-stop. This surprised everyone around him. Eventually, he fully recovered his strength. Unexpectedly, Saitama was also eating there. But he had forgotten to bring money. This made Saitama anxious. He also did not have a phone to contact Genos. If Saitama talked to the staff, they would think he was trying to dine and dash. Suddenly, Fubuki arrived. It turned out she wanted to continue discussing their plan, and she would help Saitama find the hero hunter. Taking advantage of the situation, Saitama ordered more food. Then, he invited Fubuki to eat with him. This caught her by surprise, and she unknowingly fell into Saitama's trap. Fubuki noticed that Saitama's expression looked strange. She thought he had joined her side. Suddenly, Saitama heard someone had skipped out on their bill. He realized this was his chance to escape. So, Saitama asked Fubuki to pay for him. This left Fubuki completely shocked. At this moment, Garo had already slipped out of the restaurant. Suddenly, he saw a young boy being bullied. So, Garo chased those kids away. Tario saw that Garo had helped him. So, he apologized to Garo, because last time, he had run away when Garo was being surrounded by heroes. Tario believed Garo was a righteous person. This made Garo angry. Suddenly, Saitama found Garo. He scolded Garo for dining and dashing. But Garo had helped Saitama escape earlier. So, Saitama decided to let Garo go this time. This only made Garo even angrier, because he believed Saitama was just a low-ranking hero. Yet, Saitama dared to look down on him. So, Garo decided to carry out the Monster Association's mission to eliminate one hero. When Garo tried to punch Saitama, Saitama instantly defeated Garo with a single punch. This left Tario completely stunned. Saitama was afraid the boy would find out he had skipped the bill. Luckily, Tario did not recognize him. Saitama's name was not even in the hero handbook. So, he quickly left the area. When Garo regained consciousness, he realized he had been defeated far too easily. This shocked him. Suddenly, 2 monsters appeared. They thought Garo was too weak, because he had been defeated by a B-class hero. So, they believed he was unworthy of joining the Monster Association. Garo immediately told Tario to run away. But Tario realized something. One of those monsters was named Royal Ripper. He was a monster who specialized in kidnapping children. This terrified Tario. Meanwhile, Royal Ripper was clearly enjoying himself. The monsters decided to fight Garo. On the Monster Association side, Gioro already knew that Royal Ripper and Bug God would not resist fighting Garo. Because they were extremely aggressive, they would help Garo grow stronger. This made Phoenix Man confused about Gioro's true intentions. It turned out that Orochi had once been human. Just like Garo, after experiencing countless defeats, he became the Monster King. And Orochi was actually created by Gioro. So, Gioro now wanted to create a second Orochi. While Garo was facing Royal Ripper and Bug God, the monsters were clearly enjoying the fight. Royal Ripper said Garo could never become a true monster, because he still could not abandon his humanity. Garo told Tario to run as fast as he could. But Tario was too scared. He could not move at all. Garo shouted at him, "You have to become strong if you want to survive." Hearing this, Tario forced himself to stand up. Suddenly, Royal Ripper launched an attack. Garo blocked the strike and knocked Royal Ripper back. Taking this chance, Tario ran away. This allowed Garo to fully focus on fighting the monsters. At this moment, Zombie Man went to meet Dr. Genus. It turned out that Zombie Man had once been one of the experiments of the House of Evolution. And he was Dr. Genus's successful experiment in immortality. Genus never expected Zombie Man to become a hero. Suddenly, Zombie Man wanted to attack Genus. He could not understand why the House of Evolution had disappeared. Genus explained that he had witnessed a power far beyond the evolution of humanity. And that person had broken every human limit. This shocked Zombie Man. Meanwhile, Garo was still fighting Royal Ripper. They fought at incredible speed. But Garo managed to block all of Royal Ripper's attacks. Suddenly, Bug God launched a sneak attack on him. But Garo still pushed past his limits to keep fighting. Meanwhile, Genus continued explaining, that person constantly surpassed his own limits. And as a result, he gained tremendous power. Zombie Man asked whether that power came with a price. Genus said the price of obtaining that power was losing all his hair, and even suffering from loneliness due to having no rivals. This made Zombie Man think Genus had gone insane, because he did not believe anyone could break every limit. Genus said that person was just an ordinary man who surpassed his own limits. Even that power was beyond Genus's understanding. Genus believed Zombie Man would meet that person soon, because he was also a hero. Meanwhile, Garo realized that those two were weaker than Bang. So, he believed he could defeat them. The monsters also began to acknowledge Garo's strength. Just as they were about to fight seriously, Tario was captured by Sludge Jellyfish. Garo realized it was the monster he had defeated before. This made him worried. Suddenly, Royal Ripper launched a surprise attack. Garo was severely injured. Royal Ripper believed Garo was already dead. So, the monsters left the area. Meanwhile, Genos was teaching King how to play video games. But King still did not understand anything. Bang felt that Saitama had been gone for too long. So, they thought Saitama had gone to the Monster Association's base. This made them worried. Suddenly, Saitama returned. This surprised everyone, because Saitama had fought monsters on his way back. But that was not as important as the fact that he lost his wallet. He had even forgotten his cabbage at the restaurant. Luckily, Fubuki brought the cabbage back for Saitama. However, she was angry, because she had to pay the bill for Saitama. So, Fubuki considered Saitama to be in her debt. Genos thought that Fubuki also wanted to become Saitama's disciple. Suddenly, Genos sensed an enemy approaching, because Saitama was distracted after losing his wallet, and everyone else was injured. So, Genos asked King to fight the enemy. This terrified King. It turned out the person was Dr. Kusano. He had only come to repair Genos' body. Genos immediately apologized to him, because he had lost the battle. And the one who destroyed Genos' body was Saitama. This shocked Dr. Kusano. But Saitama told Kusano to take off his shoes. At this moment, Kusano thanked Saitama, because Saitama was a wonderful teacher to Genos. However, Saitama just wanted everyone to leave, because his apartment was too cramped. Suddenly, Kusano gave Saitama some high-grade beef. This made Saitama very happy. He immediately told Kusano to visit his place often. Fubuki realized this was an effective way to persuade Saitama. At this time, Tario was taken back to the base. This terrified him. Bug God reported that Garo was dead, because they believed Garo was unworthy of becoming a monster. This disappointed Gioro. So, he ordered them to deal with Tario as well, because they needed to focus on the upcoming battle with the Hero Association. Meanwhile, the monsters were extremely excited. They were confident they would kill many heroes. At this time, Gale Wind and Hellfire Flame were training, because they were targeting Flashy Flash, the fastest hero in the Hero Association. Meanwhile, Tario was still terrified. Suddenly, Royal Ripper encountered G5. Tario realized that G5 was the one who had defeated Metal Knight. After that, Royal Ripper threw Tario into a prison cell. There, he met Wagama, who was being held hostage. But, Wagama was very optimistic. He asked Tario if he had any candy. Wagama comforted Tario, because he was the son of a senior member of the Hero Association. So, he was certain they would be rescued soon. And he would also ask the heroes to rescue Tario. Thus, Wagama told Tario to become his subordinate. However, Sludge Jellyfish threatened them, saying that the heroes would never be able to rescue them, because all the heroes would die. This terrified both Wagama and Tario. Even though the monsters knew the S-Class heroes were very strong, they were not afraid, because within the Monster Association were dragon-level leaders stronger than S-Class heroes. At this moment, Garo was still alive, but he was severely injured. This caused intense pain throughout Garo's body. He realized that he had lost to a monster, all because of a kid. However, he was still worried about Tario. Garo realized he needed to stop the bleeding first. So, he forcibly contracted his muscles to tighten his wounds. Meanwhile, Child Emperor was still searching for the enemy's base. Suddenly, he ran into Seikinger. Seikinger reported that the S-Class heroes had not fully assembled yet, because many heroes were injured. Child Emperor told him that the Monster Association's base was located in City Z, that was the city where Genos was registered as a resident. So, Child Emperor suspected that Genos was a spy for the Monster Association. It turned out Metal Knight had warned him about a traitor. Seikinger felt that what Child Emperor said made sense, because their rescue operation could not afford to fail. So, Seikinger decided to remove Genos from the lineup. Even Bang was excluded, because he had gone easy on his own disciple. Only King was allowed to remain. At this time, Saitama was still cooking hot pot. When the hot pot was finally ready, everyone immediately rushed to eat. This left Saitama confused, because they were eating hot pot inside his apartment. Even though Saitama told them to leave, they casually kept sitting there and eating, because the hot pot was delicious. However, King suddenly passed out. Meanwhile, Garo was heading back to the Monster Association's base. Gyoro sensed that an intruder had entered. So, he ordered the monsters to stop Garo. The next morning, Saitama woke King up. It turned out King had passed out while fighting over meat. After that, Saitama asked King to take out the trash for him. When King went outside, he realized that City Z was extremely quiet. He did not even see a single rat. When King returned to his own place, he saw two staff members from the Hero Association. They thought King had just gone through an intense battle, because his clothes were very dirty. After that, they summoned him back to the Hero Association. Meanwhile, Narinki realized that his team of heroes had been wiped out. This made him worried about his son. But, Seikinger promised to rescue his son. Narinki promised to give all his money and assets to the Hero Association, as long as they could save his son. But, the heroes stepped forward and said, "We don't need money," because their mission was to protect children, and they were ready to fight. At this moment, Child Emperor began discussing the plan. He handed out tracking devices to everyone, so they could locate each other. And Seikinger had also finished selecting the support team. When Tatsumaki learned that Fubuki was part of the team, she immediately objected, because Tatsumaki did not want her sister to be in danger. She believed that she alone was enough. This left Seikinger helpless, so he had to revise the plan. At this time, Royal Ripper came to look for Tario. It turned out he wanted to play with him. This terrified Tario, but Royal Ripper said that the heroes only wanted to rescue Waganma, so no hero would come to save Tario. After that, he took Tario to the torture room. This filled Tario with fear. It turned out Royal Ripper enjoyed watching others feel afraid, because killing was the meaning of his existence. When Tario cried out for help, Garo suddenly appeared. This shocked Royal Ripper. Garo immediately grabbed his sword. Unexpectedly, Garo defeated him with a single strike. This left Tario completely stunned. However, Garo was severely injured. This caused him to bleed continuously. Garo then used Royal Ripper's cloth to bandage his wounds. At this point, Tario did not understand how Garo knew this place. Garo said, "Because I am a monster." Garo kept defeating the monsters one after another, and he led Tario out of the area. Suddenly, Tario said there was still another hostage here. So, Tario asked Garo to save him as well. But, Garo immediately refused. He even denied that he had come here to rescue Tario. Suddenly, a gigantic creature appeared. This shocked both of them. Even Garo felt fear, because he sensed how powerful it was. So, Garo led Tario to retreat. Luckily, it did not chase after them. Suddenly, Garo encountered another group of monsters. They immediately recognized him as the hero hunter. This excited them, so they attacked Garo at once. Unexpectedly, Garo was extremely strong. He easily overwhelmed them. This confused the monsters, because they were demon-level monsters. But, Garo said, "I am dragon level." This enraged them, and they continued attacking. By accident, Garo kicked one of them into the giant monster. This made it furious. It turned out to be one of their executives. But, Garo saw it as nothing more than a dog. Suddenly, it began attacking. This terrified Garo. He immediately grabbed Tario and ran. Fortunately, both of them escaped. Garo realized this was the true power of a dragon-level monster. So, Garo told Tario to run away on his own, because he could not fight and protect Tario at the same time. When Rover continued attacking, Garo repeatedly punched it, but all of Garo's attacks were useless. Rover then fired an energy blast at Garo. He was unable to dodge it. Garo thought he was going to die, because he had not yet achieved what he truly wanted. Unexpectedly, Garo still managed to stand back up. Rover continued firing energy blasts at Garo. But, Garo dodged every single one. Those attacks even caused massive shockwaves across the ground. When Rover believed Garo had been defeated, Garo suddenly leapt down and delivered a powerful punch to Rover's head. However, it did not suffer any damage. Rover grabbed Garo and fired energy directly at him. Meanwhile, Saitama was still calmly reading a book. Garo realized he was at a disadvantage, but his body could no longer move. It turned out he had fallen into Gyoro's area. This greatly pleased Gyoro, because Garo was still alive. Garo realized Gyoro's power was psychokinesis. Suddenly, Garo's body could no longer move. Gyoro said that Garo's body was evolving. At this moment, Saitama was preparing to head out. Gyoro told Garo that at present, he was only a half monster. Although his body was extremely tough, it was still not enough. So, Gyoro would train Garo to become the strongest monster. It turned out Gyoro would teach him a technique to become a monster. This required the body to be pushed to an extreme, terrifying limit. Gyoro had experimented on many people, and he had turned many of them into monsters. As long as a being surpassed death itself, they would evolve to a higher level. In the end, Gyoro created the strongest monster. That monster was Orochi. But, Gyoro saw that Garo had potential far beyond Orochi. This excited Gyoro, because he intended to turn Garo into the strongest monster. So, Garo could wipe out all the heroes. But, Garo refused, because he hated people like Gyoro. Unexpectedly, Garo began to break free from Gyoro's control. This shocked Gyoro. So, Gyoro decided to teach Garo a lesson. But, Garo managed to block his attack. Garo then mocked Gyoro, saying Gyoro could only control one binding technique at a time. This amused Garo. He decided to destroy the Monster Association. But, Gyoro knew the heroes were about to arrive. So, he summoned Orochi to finish this quickly. Suddenly, a gigantic hand grabbed Garo. This shocked him. Gyoro then created an arena for Orochi and Garo. Meanwhile, Saitama continued walking calmly while reading manga. Suddenly, a group of monsters appeared behind him. So, Saitama casually wiped them out. At this moment, Garo was severely injured, but he still struggled to move. Orochi began attacking Garo. This injured him even further. Gyoro explained that every part of Orochi's body was a monster. So, it could move and control itself freely. This only excited Garo more. Orochi continued attacking Garo, but Garo blocked his strike. Gyoro noticed that Garo's speed was increasing rapidly. When Garo charged at Orochi, Orochi suddenly opened his mouth, trying to devour him. Fortunately, Garo dodged in time. Garo saw Orochi release a terrifying form. Orochi then fired massive pillars of flame at Garo. This set the entire arena ablaze. Gyoro believed Garo would not survive this temperature. When Orochi punched through the flames, Garo blocked his attack. No matter how many times Garo was knocked down, he continued to stand back up. Garo said that Orochi only had power, and that was not enough. If Orochi wanted to become the Monster King, he needed to be someone who knew no fear. So, Garo decided to show Orochi what fear truly was. He would make up for power with technique. Suddenly, Orochi copied Garo's movements. This shocked Garo. It turned out Orochi could mimic an opponent's techniques just by watching them. Garo did not believe Orochi could truly do that. So, he launched another attack. Unexpectedly, Garo was defeated. Gyoro decided to brainwash Garo to turn him into his ultimate trump card. Meanwhile, Saitama heard a noise coming from beneath a manhole. At this moment, Child Emperor was still discussing the plan. He realized that there were still several dragon-level monsters inside the Monster Association. Just like Elder Centipede, Super Alloy Darkshine and Puri Puri Prisoner were both confident in their strength. However, they realized that Drive Knight had been defeated. So, Zombie Man warned them not to underestimate the enemy. Flash guessed that both Orochi and Gyoro were dragon-level monsters. But, Tatsumaki said she would handle the boss herself. However, Flash also wanted to fight the boss. This caused the two of them to argue. Child Emperor said that he also did not know the location of the Monster King. Flash felt that this operation did not need too many people. So, he wanted to take action immediately. Suddenly, Sweet Mask appeared. He did not understand why only S-class heroes were allowed to participate in this mission. This left Child Emperor helpless. He did not know how to explain it. Sweet Mask even wanted to take command of the S-class heroes. This made everyone uncomfortable. Flash told him to convince him with strength. When Sweet Mask and Flash were about to fight, King suddenly arrived. At this moment, everyone was irritated with King, because they had been waiting for him. But, King said that he had been in City Z yesterday. So, everyone assumed that King had fought monsters there. This shocked the other heroes. Sweet Mask admired King as a true hero. So, he decided to give up his position to King. On Seikinger's side, he had gathered many B-class heroes. They would be responsible for supporting the S-class heroes. Suddenly, Bang and Bomb arrived, but Seikinger had instructed Sitch not to inform them about this operation, because they were afraid Bang would go easy on Garo. But in reality, Bang had not held back at all. Suddenly, Bang noticed King. This startled him. By accident, King revealed the secret of the meeting to Bang. So, King had no choice but to tell them the truth. Bang realized that the Hero Association did not trust him. Suddenly, King told Bang and Bomb that they had to bring Saitama and Genos with them. So, they decided to meet at Saitama's place. At this moment, King felt relieved. So, he calmly returned to the mission. They heard that the sound of King's engine had disappeared. They thought he had fully mastered his power. At this time, Fubuki realized that she had also been excluded from the mission. She knew that her sister had intervened. So, Fubuki decided to prove her strength to Tatsumaki. Meanwhile, Genos' body had also been upgraded. Kuseno had enhanced all of Genos' firepower. Genos could unleash explosive power for 10 seconds. If he exceeded that limit, Genos' energy core would explode. Suddenly, Genos ran into Fubuki. So, they started arguing again. But, when they entered Saitama's room, they did not see him anywhere. Genos did not know where his master had gone. Suddenly, Bang and Bomb also arrived. Bang told Genos about the plan to infiltrate the enemy's base. When King arrived, he discovered that Saitama was not at home. This made King anxious. Fubuki suggested waiting for Saitama to return, because she wanted to form a new Fubuki group. But no one paid attention to her. Genos suggested that everyone move ahead first. He would stay behind to wait for Saitama. This shocked King. At this moment, the S-class heroes had entered City Z. Child Emperor did not see King anywhere. So, he assumed King had taken action on his own. This made the others curious, because they had never seen King fight before. But, they still trusted King. Suddenly, the monsters appeared. They realized this was a trap set by the Monster Association, because the number of monsters was overwhelming. However, Tatsumaki was not worried. Suddenly, this monster used psychokinesis. He lifted entire buildings into the air. This made everyone anxious. It turned out he had been enhanced by Gyoro, which multiplied his power many times over. When he tried to crush them with the buildings, Tatsumaki immediately created a protective barrier. But, debris still fell through. This made the B-class heroes nervous. Tatsumaki said she was not responsible for protecting anyone. Fortunately, the S-class heroes protected them. Tatsumaki believed that, if they could not protect themselves, they should go home. Sweet Mask also agreed with her, and told them to prove their strength. Meanwhile, Evil Eye was fascinated by Tatsumaki. He even wanted to target her younger sister. This enraged Tatsumaki. She immediately created a massive storm. This shocked the other heroes. So, they also began fighting. The A-class heroes continuously defeated many monsters. This surprised Sweet Mask. He realized they were doing quite well. At this point, Child Emperor felt reassured about the other heroes. But, Seikinger was still worried about the B-class heroes. Suddenly, monsters appeared behind him. A C-class hero immediately attacked one of the monsters. Seikinger noticed the cut was too weak. Unexpectedly, That hero was a poison user. At this moment, Mizuki also took action. She was a B-class hero ranked 71. Mizuki charged at the monsters and used pole vaulting. She repeatedly attacked the monsters. But there were too many of them. They quickly surrounded Mizuki. Fortunately, Superalloy Darkshine stepped in to help her. He praised Mizuki's muscles for being beautiful and said she was very strong. She then defeated the monster. At this point, the S-class heroes felt something was strange, because the Monster Association had only sent low-level monsters. Child Emperor guessed they were trying to wear them down. After that, the monster's threat level gradually increased. This caused the B-class heroes to struggle. So, they teamed up to fight this rhinoceros monster. Unexpectedly, its skin was extremely tough. It continuously knocked down the B-class heroes. It turned out to be a demon-level monster. Suddenly, Atomic Samurai stepped in, because he saw his disciples were in trouble. So, he decided to fight it himself. When the rhinoceros monster tried to punch him, no one saw Atomic Samurai draw his sword. When he turned and walked away, the rhinoceros monster had already been defeated. This shocked the other monsters. So, they attacked Atomic Samurai together. Unexpectedly, with just a single slash, Atomic Samurai defeated all of them. At this moment, the other S-class heroes also defeated many monsters. This amazed the B-class heroes, because they were on a completely different level. Tatsumaki also easily defeated Evil Eye and erased him completely. Child Emperor immediately destroyed Gyoro's surveillance eye. At this point, Gyoro had assessed their strength. So, he gathered the dragon-level monsters. Meanwhile, the S-class heroes were ready to infiltrate the monster base. However, they all split up. Seikinger hoped that no one would die. At this time, the low-level monsters blamed Gyoro because he treated them as expendable pawns. Unexpectedly, Gyoro mercilessly killed those low-level monsters. This terrified the remaining monsters. After that, Gyoro continued ordering them to stop the heroes. Meanwhile, the S-class heroes split up and began their individual operations. Flash recalled that, before the operation began, Child Emperor had instructed them on how to use the tracking devices, and that they could use them to communicate with each other. Suddenly, Flash encountered a group of monsters blocking his path, but he defeated them at incredible speed. Flash then continued moving deeper inside, but he encountered Gale Wind and Hellfire Flame. Unexpectedly, the moment Flash saw them, he immediately launched an attack, but they managed to dodge it. It turned out Flash was also a former member of the Ninja Village. He continued attacking Hellfire Flame. However, every attack from Flash was blocked. Gale Wind quickly set up silk wire traps. This forced Flash to retreat. Even though Flash was fighting two opponents at once, he showed no concern at all. Unexpectedly, Flash moved at extreme speed. He even sliced through all of Gale Wind's traps. This shocked Gale Wind. Suddenly, Flash fell into another chamber. The two of them continued attacking Flash together, but Flash blocked every single one of their attacks. Gale Wind said this was the location he had chosen to defeat Flash. So, they began using their ultimate techniques. But Flash was still moving incredibly fast. He easily blocked all of their attacks. It turned out Flash realized that Gale Wind and Hellfire Flame had been hired to assassinate him. So, Gale Wind admitted it. The one who hired them was a human trafficking kingpin, and he controlled a massive underground organization. However, Flash said he had already killed all of them. This shocked Gale Wind. So, Gale Wind continued attacking Flash. He claimed that the warriors from the Ninja Village were far stronger than heroes, and that they wanted to become the strongest of all. However, Flash realized that they still had not used their full power. So, Gale Wind and Hellfire Flame began releasing their monster powers. But Flash remained confident he could defeat them. The two attacked Flash at extreme speed. Even after transforming, all of their attacks were still blocked by Flash. Flash even shattered Hellfire Flame's sword with a thrust. At this point, Gale Wind admitted that Flash was very strong. He said only they were capable of fighting Flash. But Flash declared that he was stronger than both of them, because he had already mastered all of their techniques. This enraged Gale Wind and Hellfire Flame. So, they decided to unleash all of their power. Unexpectedly, both their speed and strength increased dramatically. They continuously overwhelmed Flash together. Just when they thought they had won, Flash suddenly turned the tables. He unleashed a barrage of extremely fast kicks. His speed far surpassed theirs. In the end, Flash finished both of them with a single strike. It turned out Flash had been waiting for the perfect moment to defeat them at once. Flash said that if they had chosen heroes without speed, they might have been able to trouble them. Hellfire Flame did not understand. why they constantly sought greater power. Yet, still lost to Flash. However, Flash replied, "You lack training." In the end, Flash was victorious. After that, Flash continued moving forward, but he lost his tracking device. Meanwhile, Child Emperor was monitoring everyone. He believed everyone was still doing fine. Suddenly, Child Emperor entered a laboratory. He saw that Metal Knight's robot had been destroyed by Orochi. This shocked Child Emperor, because only someone extremely powerful could destroy that robot. After that, Child Emperor began collecting data, and he discovered the path leading to the hostages. While Child Emperor was eating candy to calm himself, he suddenly encountered Phoenix Man. This surprised Phoenix Man, because Child Emperor was just a child. But Phoenix Man had no intention of holding back. This angered Child Emperor. However, Phoenix Man began persuading him to join the Monster Association, because he knew Child Emperor was a genius. Phoenix Man even wanted to defeat Orochi and become the Monster King. Suddenly, he attacked Child Emperor. However, Child Emperor created an invisible shield in time. This shocked Phoenix Man. Then, Child Emperor used weapons deployed from his backpack to attack him, and he defeated Phoenix Man. Meanwhile, the monsters were guarding Waganma. Suddenly, a frog latched onto his mouth. A cloud of poisonous gas spread out. This caused the monsters to pass out. It turned out Child Emperor had come to rescue him. Suddenly, Sludge Jellyfish launched a sneak attack on Child Emperor. But, Child Emperor instantly deployed a shield. Child Emperor counterattacked. He realized that normal physical attacks were useless against it. So, he injected oil into Sludge Jellyfish's body and set it on fire. At this point, Child Emperor successfully rescued Waganma. However, Waganma complained that Child Emperor arrived too late. But, Child Emperor sensed something was chasing them. So, he used a toy tank to test the path ahead. Unexpectedly, it was destroyed. It turned out the one pursuing them was G5. So, Child Emperor used a device to disable machines and attacked him. Unexpectedly, this move was ineffective. Child Emperor realized G5 was extremely powerful. So, he summoned a three-headed robot dog. This greatly excited G5. Child Emperor then restrained G5, allowing the three-headed robot dog to attack him. Meanwhile, Child Emperor carried Waganma and ran, because he knew it would not be able to hold G5 for long. At this moment, Waganma did not understand why Child Emperor did not continue fighting. But, Child Emperor said the enemy was extremely strong. He did not have time to fight G5, because his mission was to escort Waganma to a safe place. At this time, they returned to where Phoenix Man was. Child Emperor thought he was dead, but he still sensed that something was strange. Suddenly, Phoenix Man began to glow, and he came back to life. He even evolved into a dragon-level monster. This shocked Child Emperor. So, he immediately used a glue gun to attack him. But, Phoenix Man breathed fire. Fortunately, Child Emperor quickly created a shield to protect Waganma. After that, Child Emperor continued facing Phoenix Man. He was determined to defeat him. This amused Phoenix Man. So, he fired an extremely powerful flame at Child Emperor. Although Child Emperor blocked it, he was blown backward. At this moment, Phoenix Man confidently declared that he was the strongest being on this planet. Meanwhile, Child Emperor began to cry, because he felt how weak he was. Being pushed this far by someone who was not even the final boss forced him to use his ultimate weapon. So, he decided to summon Brave Giant. A massive robot appeared and attacked Phoenix Man, sending him crashing into a wall. However, Phoenix Man remained extremely confident. He said if Child Emperor had used this robot earlier, he and the hostage would have escaped already. So, Phoenix Man guessed that the robot had a time limit. Child Emperor realized there was no time left. He only had 2 minutes to defeat him. So, Child Emperor launched an all-out attack on Phoenix Man. But, Phoenix Man dodged it. His speed had even increased. Phoenix Man continuously attacked Child Emperor. All of Child Emperor's firepower was absorbed by Phoenix Man. This shocked Child Emperor. But, he continued attacking anyway, because he was running out of time. Phoenix Man realized this as well. So, he kept dodging to drag out the battle. When he thought he had already won, Child Emperor unexpectedly trapped him. An electromagnetic barrier slammed Phoenix Man to the ground. When Child Emperor tried to finish the fight, Phoenix Man stubbornly resisted. This surprised Child Emperor. So, he decided to release more energy, and he forced Phoenix Man down to the ground. Child Emperor realized he could not kill him, because Phoenix Man would continue to revive. So, he dragged him toward Flash's location, hoping Flash could help him finish the job. However, Flash was still lost. At this moment, Child Emperor realized Flash's tracker had fallen here. Phoenix Man revived once again. He began to acknowledge Child Emperor's strength as an S-class hero. Child Emperor realized Phoenix Man was still evolving, so he needed to finish him quickly. But Phoenix Man counterattacked. Unexpectedly, he blocked Child Emperor's attack. He even tore off one of the robot's arms. Phoenix Man believed victory was guaranteed. But Child Emperor refused to give up. Even though he knew Phoenix Man was extremely strong, he still had a way to win. Suddenly, Phoenix Man began to glow again. This ability was called New King's Awakening Light. It allowed him to resurrect corpses. This shocked Child Emperor, because a massive horde of zombies appeared. Child Emperor immediately fired lasers to eliminate them. Suddenly, a giant zombie appeared, but Child Emperor instantly destroyed it. Meanwhile, Phoenix Man was enjoying himself. He recalled his past, how he had always been looked down on by others. At this moment, Phoenix Man grabbed Waganma and fled. Just when he thought he had escaped, the robot's severed arm transformed into a drill, and Child Emperor launched another attack. However, Phoenix Man was still not defeated. At this point, Child Emperor had only 11 seconds left. So, he decided to release all remaining energy. He generated electric arcs that wiped out the zombies. Child Emperor made the robot take flight, and created a new robotic arm. Child Emperor unleashed an extremely powerful strike on Phoenix Man, creating a massive pillar of fire that shot into the sky. At this moment, Child Emperor's robot was also damaged. It could no longer move. Child Emperor realized he had misjudged the enemy's strength. So, he began worrying about the other heroes. Unexpectedly, Phoenix Man was still alive. He blamed Child Emperor for turning him into this ugly form, and swore to take revenge. Child Emperor said he would hide inside the robot. Suddenly, Phoenix Man charged at him. But Child Emperor leapt upward, and swallowed Phoenix Man into the robot's mouth, trapping him inside. However, Phoenix Man broke free from the robot. This injured Child Emperor. Phoenix Man was delighted, because he wanted to punish Child Emperor. Suddenly, Phoenix Man burst out laughing. It turned out Child Emperor had planted a tickling bug inside his body. The bug would continuously crawl around and tickle its victim. This enraged Phoenix Man. He tore off his costume, causing his power to disappear. Taking advantage of this moment, Child Emperor attacked him. Unexpectedly, Gale Wind and Hellfire Flame were still alive. They witnessed Phoenix Man's defeat. Meanwhile, Saitama had no idea where he was. Suddenly, he saw Gale Wind and Hellfire Flame running toward him. They immediately attacked Saitama, but he casually dodged their attacks. They realized how strong Saitama was. However, they chose to prioritize revenge against Flash. So, the two of them retreated. At this moment, Child Emperor was victorious. He realized that Phoenix Man's power came from his costume. After that, Child Emperor informed everyone that he had successfully rescued Waganma. On Zombie Man's side, he was fighting a group of monsters. Even though he was injured, his wounds kept regenerating non-stop. At this moment, Zombie Man entered another room. A bat-like monster appeared. It turned out he was a demon-level vampire. Zombie Man noticed the surrounding monsters were cheering for him. He did not understand why they were not cheering for the vampire instead. It turned out the monsters disliked vampires. When the one-on-one duel began, Zombie Man immediately shot him. Unexpectedly, the vampire moved extremely fast, and he bit into Zombie Man's neck. But Zombie Man's blood tasted terrible, making it impossible for him to drink it. The monsters thought Zombie Man had lost. Unexpectedly, he stood back up. He pulled out his gun and shot the vampire. But the vampire caught the bullet and fired it back at Zombie Man. No matter how badly he was injured, Zombie Man continued to stand back up. The vampire realized that Zombie Man was an immortal hero. This greatly excited him. The two continued fighting. Zombie Man switched his weapons to two swords. Even though the vampire was extremely fast, Zombie Man managed to shoot him. Unexpectedly, the vampire could absorb the blood of other monsters to recover. So, he released a swarm of bats to attack Zombie Man. The vampire believed he had already won. However, Zombie Man was still unharmed, and he continued fighting. After 30 minutes, Zombie Man finally defeated the vampire. Even though the vampire had defeated him 200 times, Zombie Man only needed to defeat him once. At this point, Zombie Man was extremely exhausted. The monsters thought he was completely worn out. But it turned out he still wanted to keep fighting. In the end, Zombie Man defeated all the monsters in the room. After that, he continued moving forward. Meanwhile, Pig God was facing a gigantic monster. He was confident that he could eat anything. On the side of Atomic Samurai's disciples, They were facing the monster princess. This delighted her, because she wanted to turn them into her servants. Iain recalled his master's teachings, which helped him move faster and dodge gunfire. At this moment, they did not understand why these heroes were being controlled by the monster princess. No matter how many times they were knocked down, they continued to stand back up. The monster princess wanted to gain another slave. Suddenly, Sweet Mask appeared. This surprised the monster princess. He told Iain's group to retreat first, saying he would handle everything here himself. The monster princess sensed Sweet Mask's confidence. This intrigued her, so she removed her mask. When the monster princess ordered her subordinates to attack, Sweet Mask easily defeated them. Then he charged straight at the monster princess. This terrified her. He even mercilessly eliminated the monster princess. At this moment, Atomic Samurai's disciples saw Pig God devouring a gigantic monster. Suddenly, they fell down through the ground and encountered Devil Longhair. Okama thought he was extremely handsome, making him unable to suppress his affection. Iain immediately reminded him that the enemy was a monster. So, Okama attacked him, but Devil Longhair used his hair to block the strike. This shocked Iain, because his hair was incredibly hard. His hair could even attack with great flexibility. Suddenly, he stabbed his hair into the ground for a sneak attack. So, they struggled to defend themselves. Even when they cut off his hair, it kept regenerating endlessly. At this moment, Iain recalled asking his master once what he would do if he faced a monster that humans could not defeat. While Iain's group continued blocking the attacks, unexpectedly, they managed to cut off all of his hair. In the end, all three of them were victorious. Meanwhile, Atomic Samurai had already defeated many monsters. He easily eliminated the low-level monsters. Suddenly, he encountered G5. G5 claimed that he had copied all of Atomic Samurai's techniques. Unexpectedly, G5 truly blocked every one of his attacks. His speed even continued to increase. When G5 unleashed his finishing move, Atomic Samurai was still stronger, and he easily destroyed G5's armor. However, Atomic Samurai realized that G5 had escaped, so he continued moving forward. Meanwhile, Tario was being chased by Black Sperm. Suddenly, Black Sperm was attacked by Atomic Samurai, but he managed to dodge the attack. At this moment, Child Emperor was searching for an exit together with Waganma. Waganma did not understand why a child like him was acting as the commander, while everyone around him was an adult. But Child Emperor said there was no one who could replace him, and he led Waganma to the exit. After that, Child Emperor informed everyone that their rescue operation had been successful. However, none of the other S-class heroes responded. This made him worried. Suddenly, Zombie Man replied. It turned out that everyone was still okay. But Atomic Samurai reported that he believed there was still one child being held hostage. This shocked Child Emperor, because Waganma had lied to him about there being another hostage. Waganma immediately apologized. So, Child Emperor decided to go back and rescue the other child. But Seikinger prioritized retreat, because they had already rescued Waganma. Child Emperor coldly looked at him. The other heroes saw Child Emperor's determination to save people, and they greatly admired him. Meanwhile, Atomic Samurai was facing Black Sperm. This delighted Black Sperm, because he realized Atomic Samurai was an S-class hero. Suddenly, Black Sperm transformed his body into a gigantic arm. Atomic Samurai immediately cut off the arm. Unexpectedly, Black Sperm split into multiple bodies. It turned out he could multiply endlessly. However, Atomic Samurai remained very confident. No matter how many copies appeared, he believed he would still win. So, Atomic Samurai continuously slashed the clones at incredible speed. But Black Sperm kept creating more and more copies. Even his clones were extremely strong. At this moment, Atomic Samurai began to be overwhelmed. This thrilled Black Sperm, because he believed victory was close. However, Atomic Samurai sliced through the ceiling, causing massive debris to fall and crush the clones. On Zombie Man's side, he encountered Homeless Emperor. This surprised Zombie Man, but Homeless Emperor immediately caused an explosion, leaving Zombie Man no time to react. Homeless Emperor believed he had defeated him. Unexpectedly, Zombie Man launched a sneak attack from behind, but Homeless Emperor dodged it and continued killing Zombie Man. However, he soon realized it was only a trap. Zombie Man regenerated once again. He immediately shot Homeless Emperor, but he was still being overwhelmed. No matter how badly Zombie Man was injured, he continued to stand back up. At this point, Zombie Man did not understand the source of his power. So, Homeless Emperor explained it to him. 1 month earlier, he had been homeless, because he was fired by his boss. So, he looked up at the sky, and began to realize that the earth had become ugly. Thus, he wanted to save Mother Earth. Suddenly, Homeless Emperor encountered a god, and that god granted him power to help him eliminate humanity from the planet. Meanwhile, Zombie Man was worried, because he had not fully recovered yet. So, Zombie Man kept talking to buy time. Meanwhile, Saitama felt vibrations coming from above. On Puri Puri prisoner's side, he was being attacked by monsters. But his body was extremely tough. This shocked the monsters. So, they retreated. However, the elephant-headed monster did not allow anyone to escape, and he swallowed all of his own allies. This shocked Puri Puri prisoner. Then, the monster attacked him. It turned out the monster could absorb the abilities of others. He was confident in his current strength, believing he could defeat all S-class heroes. But, Puri Puri prisoner said, "Defeat me first." So, the monster continued attacking him. Suddenly, Puri Puri prisoner's body began to tremble, because he had been hit by too much electricity and poison. But, Puri Puri prisoner transferred the vibration into the wall. This shocked the elephant-headed monster. It turned out this was Puri Puri prisoner's new power. Puri Puri prisoner then charged forward, punching repeatedly. In the end, he achieved victory. Suddenly, the prisoners who had been turned into monsters appeared. This shocked Puri Puri prisoner. He thought they had been forced, but they wanted monster power to defeat him. Puri Puri prisoner still refused to give up. He believed they needed salvation. However, Neon appeared and said, once someone becomes a monster, they can never return to being human. He then attacked Puri Puri prisoner, injuring him badly. The monsters believed he had been defeated. Unexpectedly, Puri Puri prisoner still struggled to stand. He said, as long as their hearts remained human, they were still human. So, Puri Puri prisoner resolved to save everyone. This enraged the monsters, because they did not want that. However, Puri Puri prisoner's body became even tougher. Neon realized that his body had evolved. Puri Puri prisoner then began to counterattack. He chased after Neon, but Neon slipped into a crack in the wall. Puri Puri prisoner smashed through the wall to pursue him. However, Neon moved faster and led Puri Puri prisoner back to the prisoners' location, causing debris from the collapsing walls to crush them. This caused Puri Puri prisoner great pain. So, he decided he would defeat Neon no matter what. Meanwhile, King's group had also arrived. This made King extremely nervous, because this place was terrifying. He had no idea where Saitama was. Meanwhile, both Bang and Fubuki believed King was incredibly strong. But, King himself remained very humble. On Pig God's side, he had eaten a huge number of monsters. This made his body grow even larger. Suddenly, Pig God was swallowed whole by Gums. He was a dragon-level monster. However, Gums was forced to spit Pig God back out. This made Pig God furious. Meanwhile, Super Alloy Darkshine was being punched repeatedly. But, his body was incredibly tough. It turned out Super Alloy Darkshine possessed an enormous amount of muscle mass. He was very disappointed in this insect monster, because insects were known for their terrifying strength. Super Alloy Darkshine warned him that there were 3 heroes he must never touch: King, Tatsumaki, and Super Alloy Darkshine himself. This enraged the insect monster. So, it unleashed its own muscular power. However, it was still defeated by Super Alloy Darkshine with a single blow. Suddenly, Darkshine felt massive vibrations coming from above. It turned out Saitama was fighting. Unexpectedly, Saitama encountered Rover. Saitama thought it was just a dog. So, he casually tossed it a bone. But, Rover continuously fired flames at Saitama. However, it could not even burn a single strand of his hair. Saitama jumped up and punched Rover in the head. This caused an enormous shockwave that other heroes could feel. They had no idea who possessed such overwhelming power. Neon saw Saitama defeat Rover with one punch. This terrified him, but he still tried to sneak attack Saitama. However, Saitama did not lose a single hair. Neon realized Saitama was extremely dangerous. So, he immediately ran away. This left Saitama confused about what he was doing. On Tatsumaki's side, she encountered Gyoro. Tatsumaki believed he was the boss of this place. This delighted Gyoro, because he had always wanted to fight Tatsumaki. So, he unleashed his psychokinesis. He formed a massive block of earth to trap Tatsumaki. But, Tatsumaki shattered it easily. This shocked Gyoro. She then counterattacked immediately. Tatsumaki's power even pierced through Gyoro's barrier. So, Gyoro decided to use his true power. He increased gravity 300 times to pin Tatsumaki down. But, she still looked completely relaxed. After that, Tatsumaki defeated him with a single attack. However, Tatsumaki realized that he was only a puppet. She demanded that he reveal his real body. But Gyoro summoned Orochi to fight Tatsumaki. However, Orochi did not appear. This shocked Gyoro, because he had trained Orochi to always obey him. Tatsumaki did not understand what was happening, which made Gyoro nervous. It turned out Orochi was facing Saitama. Saitama said he was just taking a walk down here. But Orochi immediately attacked Saitama. It turned out Orochi sensed Saitama as a terrifying threat. So, he came to deal with him personally. This left Saitama confused about why he was being attacked. Orochi continued breathing flames at Saitama. But Saitama did not lose a single hair. At this moment, Rover was still alive. But the instant it saw Saitama, Rover panicked and ran away. Meanwhile, Saitama became irritated because Orochi had burned his cape. At this moment, Orochi's cells began trembling in fear. He realized that Guketsu and Elder Centipede had both been defeated by Saitama. This greatly excited Orochi, because he had not felt this way in a long time. He believed himself to be a supreme being. So, Orochi wanted a thrilling battle with Saitama. But Saitama did not care what Orochi was, because he had faced many enemies like him before. All of them loved to boast, and all of them were defeated by Saitama with a single punch. This bored Saitama. Orochi angrily attacked Saitama, but Saitama blocked his strike. Orochi then unleashed an extremely powerful flame. Meanwhile, the other heroes felt an overwhelming shockwave. At this moment, Saitama rushed toward Orochi and delivered a normal punch, instantly defeating him. Orochi was shocked, because he never even saw what Saitama did. And just like that, Orochi was defeated. On King's side, he was still extremely nervous, because everyone had split up, leaving him alone. Suddenly, King encountered Waganma. He was terrified while being chased by a monster. But King told him to stay away. It turned out Waganma was actually a monster in disguise. The monster thought King had seen through him. This frightened it so badly that it passed out. King had no idea what just happened. Meanwhile, Saitama felt disappointed again, because he had once again finished the enemy with a single punch. That's all for today's video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support Oni-chan in future videos. Thank you all for watching. Much love.